while recently watching original series Star Trek episode Catspaw from 1967. I stumbled on a fascinating future Easter egg reference to director and actor Orson Welles. I developed this and would like to share some of the connections. The cast featured Antoinette Bower as Sylvia, Theo Marcuse as Korob, Michael Barrier returns for this one as Assistant Chief Engineer DeSalle. He was previously in Squire of Gothos with William Campbell. Trek regulars William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, DeForest Kelley, James Doohan, and George Takei. In this story, the Enterprise loses contact with their landing party. Spock, Kirk, and McCoy beam down to investigate. They encounter three witch-like entities and proceed to discover a European-style medieval castle. A black cat wearing a diamond pendant. The floor collapses. They're knocked out, awakening, chained and shackled in a dungeon. They then meet their hosts, the aliens, played by Marcuse and Bower. The witches reminded me of William Shakespeare's play Macbeth. There is an element of voodoo shown in this episode, and it's when Sylvia takes the necklace with a silver pendant styled after the Starship Enterprise, places the ornament into the flame of a candle. This immediately causes the real Enterprise to heat up in temperature, endangering the crew. One of Orson Welles' early projects was adapting Shakespeare's Macbeth to a stage play for a Federal Theatre Project 1936 New York production. This was nicknamed Voodoo Macbeth. Welles' version famously featured an all-black cast and moved the setting to a Caribbean island. I think this is shown ideographically in Star Trek Catspaw. Now, Welles had some links to the cast of Star Trek. He narrated the 1979 teaser trailer for the first film version, Star Trek the Motion Picture. Trek's Spock, Leonard Nimoy, and Welles both voiced characters in the 1986 animated film The Transformers the Movie. Welles played Unicron, and Nimoy played a metamorphosed version of Megatron, Galvatron. Antoinette Bower was later in the 1972 horror film Super Beast, starring Craig Lidler, Harry Lauder, and Vic Diaz. Now, Diaz later played an evil monk in 1982 martial arts action film Raw Force. The cast consisted of Cameron Mitchell, Gillian Kesner, John Dresden, Jennifer Holmes, and Hope Holliday. The story of Raw Force: the Burbank Karate Club travels to a forbidden island of disgraced martial artists where they do battle with zombies, mercenaries, and kung fu masters. There are big Orson Welles connections in Raw Force, and it relates to his satirical drama, The Other Side of the Wind. This was unreleased and unfinished for many decades. Welles started production in 1969. The cast featured John Huston, Peter Bogdanovich, Susan Strasberg, and Oya Kodar. Cameron Mitchell of Raw Force had a part in this as a makeup artist. And additionally, Gillian Kesner and husband Gary Graver worked to preserve Welles' film and attempt to finish The Other Side of the Wind. This eventually saw the light of day courtesy Netflix in 2018. Raw Force's Jeffrey Benny played Compton in the Star Trek the original series third season episode Wink of an Eye, broadcast in '68.